Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. We're going to do another mod today. I think it's a bit of a shorter mod. It's called Vara Survives, which, if you've seen the end of Remy's gameplay, the end of his story, there's a bad time. Because, spoiler alert, hopefully you've played it and you know what's going on. There's a small, young dragon. She gets killed. So, as the mod name implies, this time, hopefully, she'll survive, and we'll learn a little bit more about that. Alright, I'm on chapter 3, and I've gone to the store. Oh, it's her again. If you've mixed up the prescriptions again, I can't help you. I can't refill this one. We're just about to close. You're gonna have to bring the right one tomorrow. Hey, how can I help? Actually, I'm just about to close up here. Please make it quick. I'm here on behalf of the police, and I was hoping that you could answer a few questions. Oh, I see. Well, I don't mind, as long as you make it quick. I have to leave for my other job soon. Vara, what are you still doing here? I already told you have to come back tomorrow. Here, have a lolly on the house. I guess she doesn't want it. What's the deal with her? I'm not sure what's up with her lately. This isn't the first time this has happened either. One time the doctor forgets to issue a new prescription, another time she brings me an expired one instead of a new one. She isn't exactly the brightest, but this is unusual even for her. So, what do you want to know? I mean, at this point, we're going to check out Vara's story. This is going to be like a Vara episode. Actually, excuse me, sorry, but we'll have to do this another time. Oh, if you say so. Bye, Zhong, I'll see you another time. Luckily, she hadn't gotten too far, so I followed her from a distance. Minutes passed as we walked through the streets, weaving through an unfamiliar part of town. The young dragon looked small and lowly on the empty road. Before long, we passed the village border, yet she pressed on and stepped into the forest. I turned back once to gaze at the village on the far horizon, and in the instant the dragon was gone. I rushed to the spot I'd seen her last, and found the entrance to a cave on a hillside. When I peered inside, I saw Vara alongside a much larger orange dragon. The small dragon filled a bowl with a thick fluid and placed it in front of the other. Then she placed her hands on the large dragon's chin. Gently, she lifted its huge muzzle and guided it toward the bowl. But when she released it, the dragon's head slumped and fell into the liquid. The bowl tumbled sideways and spilled its contents across the cave floor. Because her mother's passed away. Vara has a really rough ride in this game. I realised then that other than what Vara had done, the orange dragon hadn't moved at all since I arrived. How did you even find out about this? I could tell something was wrong, so I followed her. I see. Well, good job. What's going to happen to her now? She'll be sent to the orphanage. The background check determined that she had a father, but the two hadn't seen each other in years. Can you not locate him? We did. It was Reza's second victim, the maintenance guy. That was him. I see. How did it even get this far? I don't know, but we'll certainly look into it. Some just fall through the cracks of the system. Being out here on their own probably didn't help. Do many of your people live outside the town like this? Well, some do it on principle, others because they have no other choice. Houses and apartments can be expensive, and it's not unusual for us to use natural environments as our homes. Okay, I think we're done here for now. Don't forget to stop by the department later. I won't. Thanks, Sebastian. We did our best. But that was a horrible thing. So that is Vara's backstory. It's really bad. Both of her parents have been killed within not a lot of time of each other. I'm gonna stay inside. I ain't doing nothing. And yeah, and then because she's in the orphanage, it comes to a point where Remy might be thinking to adopt her. So from that point, we can have a different ending. So in the original ending, Vara kind of jumps in front of Remy to stop Reza from attacking, but she takes the bullet and she dies. We don't want that. We want a happier ending. So here with Remy, I remember that you said you always wanted children. Yeah, it's not exactly the same thing, but I heard that the orphanage is always looking for more volunteers. You could help take care of those children. Is that so? Yeah, the orphanage is notoriously understaffed. The children don't really have anybody else, so each volunteer is a godsend. Losing both parents at such a young age must be horrible. I can't even imagine what that must be like. You should talk to Adine about volunteering. She knows a lot more about it than I do. Adine? Yeah, aren't they acquaintances because of Remy's ex, Amelia? I don't want to talk to her. Oh, okay. Why not? She used to be my friend. Well, she was more Amelia's friend than mine. Why can't you talk to her? I don't know. I don't want to face her. Whenever I see her, it's another reminder of what I lost. Besides, I don't think she wants to talk to me either. I think if you wanted to volunteer, she'd gladly accept the help. Besides, I saw that she tried to talk to you the other day. You saw that? I guess she did try to talk to me, but it was only because she wanted something. I don't think it was the only reason. Maybe she wanted to reconnect with you. If she wanted to avoid you, she could have asked somebody else at the library for help, but she chose you. I'm not sure about that. Maybe she actually feels the same way you do, and the map helped her muster up the courage to face you again. If you want to change something, Remy, you have to take action. What's the worst that could happen if you talk to her? I suppose you got a point. I'll think about it. Thanks. Getting all of that off my chest already helped a lot. No problem. Okay. We haven't actually got to the mod content yet, but it seems like a good opportunity just to run through everything related to Vara. So we're not going to skip. We're going to have a look at this. We arrived at a place that would look like an ordinary house. Had it not been for its extraordinary size, it reminded me more of a hostel than the family home. Chief. There you are. Wait, weren't you supposed to be with Emma? Luckily she doesn't work every day of the week. I see. Oh, it seems like we do then. Anyway, we're nearly done here, so I'll keep it short. Reza broke into the hatchery. There's another murder victim, an employee of the hatchery who was on night duty. Her body was found quite away from here. There's evidence of a struggle, but she covered a lot of distance before it was ultimately over. Loud bangs were heard from the area her body was found, and she has numerous wounds consistent with both the wounds of the previous victims and that other weapon that he has. By this point, news of another corpse didn't have the same impact anymore. She was just another one of Reza's faceless victims. A hatchery? Is that what this building is? Well, not only, it's a council-owned building, and they like keeping everything related to their sector under the same roof. So besides the hatchery, there's also an orphanage and a family clinic inside. There are also offices related to the administration of those services. That reminds me of the production facility. It should be. They have a similar management structure. Can we get back to the case, please? Oh, sorry for the interruption. Wait a minute, if an orphanage is in there too? There are no other casualties, but Reza got something else when he broke in. A generator, as well as a few eggs. Luckily the power was restored before anything happened to the other eggs left inside, but needless to say, the parents of the stolen eggs are not going to be happy. Why would he steal eggs in the first place? Maybe you can tell us. That's why you're here after all. I don't know. I've got no idea what he would even do with them. Maybe he wants to use them as a bargaining chip? After all, he still has to make his escape, and the portal's still broken. Do you think he wants to exchange them for safe passage through the portal? Maybe. It's still broken though, so I'm not sure if that's going to be much help. Maybe he has the part needed to repair it, and now has everything he needs to escape. He could trade the eggs for safe passage, fix the portal and leave. That's not the only possibility. He may not be the one who broke the portal. Maybe he thinks you've intentionally sabotaged it so he can't leave, and he feels he needs the eggs as bargaining chips to get you to repair it. If he just wanted to leave, I feel like that he could have just done that already. It doesn't even matter who sabotaged it, we only know that Reza's actions are becoming more and more desperate. He kidnapped defenseless eggs and even used the human weapon. Something's clearly going on with him, and maybe it means that he's going to slip up soon. Who knows, maybe he already has. In any case, we're done here. Let's head back to the department and decide what to do next. Hopefully some of the test results will tell us something. So Reza's taken the eggs, and it's a bad time. Okay, so we tracked Reza because he's taken those eggs, and he's hiding out in this farmhouse, and he's set booby traps and bombs all over it. But doing this does mean that we get the eggs back, so It is a bit of a side story as to what's actually going on, but it gives a greater impression as to what Reza's up to. He's attacked the orphanage, he took the eggs. We did get the eggs back, but yeah, Reza's just a bad guy, basically. We have the eggs. It's a relief that we found them unharmed in the building. They're safe and ready to be sent back to the hatchery. Okay, let's do that. Our eggs are pretty resilient though. Being in the care of the hatchery is more than an insurance than a requirement. Dragon eggs are tough. So I guess we shall return the eggs. Yes. I was on my way to the hatchery when I heard a voice call out to me, "Hey, hey, hey." I turned around to see an unfamiliar face before me. Oh, it's Kevin. I forgot about this guy. Hey, Kevin. Bye, Kevin. Yes, hatchery time. Here we are again. Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, I just came by to drop these off. Drop off what? The stolen eggs? I figured the hatchery would want them back. Oh, I was actually going to get those from the police department later. I'm so glad they got back safely. Emily, stop chewing my leg. It's tasty. Oh well. Anyway, I was about to go inside, so I'll take those off your hands. Thanks for bringing them here. No prob. Hey, wait for me. Here's Remy. Good job. Looks like you took my advice. Yeah, Adine and I had a good long talk. Now here we are. They're reconciling, it's all good, and I'm glad we did. It was long overdue. And there's Vara. Do you know who that is? She doesn't talk much. Yeah, I did notice. It's not unusual for someone who's had a rough life like hers. She's definitely listening though, isn't that right? Yeah, I think we should go inside. How about your dead colleague? Any word on that? How you feeling? How you doing? Yeah, probably. Well, I'll see you some other time. Thanks for coming. So that goes to show that Remy and Vara are doing good. And they're kind of having a nice little time there, getting to know each other. And hopefully he'll consider adopting. And finally we're at chapter 5 and we're going to check out this new content. Hopefully the mod will fill us in on some more details on this. But we've seen the wider picture. We've seen what's going on with Remy, his issues with wanting to raise a child, and Vara's story as well. So I'm just going to zoom through and we'll find a nice catching on point. Generally, it's after he's shot everybody. Okay, so things always turn bad when he starts shooting at people. It's never good. So administrator shows up, takes a shot. She down. Okay, Remy's down. Okay. Oh. Maverick down. Reza's taken a bite, holding his bleeding wound and breathing heavily. Reza looked at me. You're not going to help me, are you? Then it's futile. He raised his gun, aiming at me while I regained my composure and tried to run. A single gunshot resounded through the hallway, and as soon as I heard it, a sharp pain shot through my back. I fell to the ground immediately. He continued pulling the trigger, but no more bullets came. After a few seconds of silence, I slowly turned around. It's a bit of a bloodbath, this one. It's been a while since I saw it. Reza was leaning against the wall, his head slumped forward lifelessly. And Maverick, couple of headshots there, damn. Administrator's dead. Maverick and the administrator, both lying in a pool of their own blood, were not moving. I crawled over to Remy and was glad to hear him breathing. He'd been hit in the side, and I saw blood trickling from the wound onto the ground below him. He raised his head, looking at me with an expression of pain. You're wounded. So are you. We gotta stop this bleeding. I put some pressure on his wound, momentarily halting the blood that was trickling down his body. Can you do this? Let me try. He felt around his side, trying to get the right grip before he applied pressure on his own. I let go, and after a bit of adjustment, Remy could stop the bleeding on his own for now. I took off my shirt and briefly considered whether I'd be able to use it to dress Remy's wound, but I soon realised it was not long enough to wrap it around properly. Besides, if he couldn't walk for now, it wouldn't make a difference anyway, and he'd have to stay here while he held his wound shut. Instead, I used the shirt to curb my own bleeding, folding it and wrapping it around my abdomen tightly. Look, Reza's gone? And that other person. Oh, administrator's still going. Remy was right. Both Reza and the administrator were gone. You have to go. Go and stop Reza. I gotta find you help first. I can't leave you like this. Don't you dare tell me that you'd be doing me any favours by saving me. If it's just gonna be the one of us, I don't want it to be me. You don't know how it is to live every day as I have, always wondering if the pain will ever stop or if things will ever change again. And when they finally do, you come along and tell me this. Don't do that to me. I'm not going through this again. Okay, so what do you want me to do? This is bigger than us. It's bigger than me. Just go. And stop Reza. Alright. Heading outside, we've got to stop this dude. I hobbled to my feet and made my way back outside. In the distance near the portal, I saw Reza and something that was standing between them. As I drew nearer, I recognised it as Vara, who was growling at him. Reza aimed a kick at her, only to lose his balance and fall when she bit and held onto his shin. When he fell, Vara immediately jumped on him and started biting him. I went as fast as I could, but with my injuries, I knew I had little chance to get there in time. After struggling for a bit, Reza finally pushes her off. As he got up, his hand dove into his pocket to grab a few bullets, which he proceeded to load into his revolver. As he pointed his gun at her, Izumi appeared behind him. Immediately she was on him, throwing him to the ground before starting to pound his head with her fists. Together they rolled down the slope of the small hill on which the portal stood. When they came to a halt, the fight resumed. There was a flurry of fists, and suddenly I heard the distinct sound of a gunshot, after which the administrator slumped and fell. Eventually I arrived, only to be able to confirm that both of them were dead. When I looked up again, I could see Remy looking at Vara with a pained expression. Reza is dead. Were you looking for me? Did you sneak out again? He enveloped her as his tears started raining down. Jeez, the fight administrator did her job. She did her job. Soon, more help arrived. Remy, Vara and I got all the medical attention we needed. Besides those we already knew to be dead, it was also too late for Maverick. I warned them about the comet, telling them to check the PDAs I'd given them for verification of my claims. A few minutes later, EMTs arrived and I was put into an artificial coma due to my injuries. In the weeks I was out, a variety of things happened. After everything that had taken place, negotiations were fierce between humanity and the dragons. Out of respect, Reza's body was returned to humanity through the portal. While his actions had shattered all goodwill on the dragon side, Reza's wounds did their job to do the same for humanity. I too was to be returned to humanity, but as my condition didn't allow it, humanity took the dragon's refusal to transfer me as a sign that they were going to keep me hostage. I wasn't a priority for humanity though, a fact I was well aware of before I ever arrived in this world. As far as they were concerned, Reza and I had our chance, and the results weren't pretty. Ultimately, the dragons decided to return the PDAs before all contact was cut. Luckily, my claims were taken seriously, and there was already a plan in place to divert the comet. While they would have had to use the lab's generators to do it, humanity decided to use their portal's power source to support their slowly fading city for a while longer as they looked for other, more long-term solutions. After I awoke from my coma, I had to consider my options. While the dragons were able to create a new power source for the portal, I wouldn't have known how to send myself back to humanity as their portal was already deactivated, at least not without the expertise of the dead administrator. The only coordinates remaining in the portal were those she left as a last resort. It turned out they were to send someone back in time to the day that I arrived here. As soon as I could, I met with Remy, who told me everything that I'd missed. So the comet's been diverted, and you've replaced the power source for the portal. I guess I must have been gone for a long time. It was a few weeks, yeah. What are you going to do now? I could use the portal to return to the day of my arrival. After all, I came here to save our dying city, which is something I failed to do. But you did save us. It's true, but I can't help thinking that there could have been a more diplomatic solution if I just hadn't been in a coma during negotiations. Whatever you want to do now, you can be sure that you'll have the council's support. You could just stay here if you wanted to. I bet you wouldn't mind that, would ya? You know how I am. Humans just fascinate me. This isn't just about me though. Of course I'd love it if you stayed with us, but I know that there are many other factors at play here, and that it won't be an easy decision for you to make. Don't let me stop you for going back if it's what you want to do though. I'll be fine. Are you sure you'll be fine? Vara survived, congratulations! She knows that Reza is dangerous. Yeah, after all, I'm not alone anymore. In the last few weeks, I spent a lot of time with the Dean, and I'd say that we're pretty good friends for now. In addition to Vara, another hatchling has caught my eye. Maybe you've seen her, her name's Amelie, and she's just the sweetest girl. Yeah, there's more about Amelie, but we're not going to get into that. Besides, if you really end up going back in time, I'll see you again. Is that the end of the mod? It's the end of the mod. It was a very short mod. Ignore the image that you're seeing right now. That did not happen. It happened in like canon, but it did not happen in this mod. So quite a small mod. And honestly, most of the content of this video was going over what would happen before. But it was kind of nice to have a gameplay that focused specifically on Remy's relationship with Vara and Vara's story and how she makes it through the game. And having a happier ending for her is actually quite nice. Because this game, it does like its tragic scenarios, so every now and then it's nice to have something a little bit more nice and a bit of a refresher as to how these characters have grown. Don't look at that either, that's a sad time also. But that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit of stuff you're already familiar with, but it's nice to revisit every now and then. This is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.